Hello everybody, this video is primarily for our US staffing industry professionals, and in this video I am going to explain you about the US staffing trend, how it has been till 2024 and what is that we can expect in 2025. It is something that we know that the trend has been changing and volatile as we are seeing month on month or quarter on quarter, that the results are not as we expect it to happen, and the market is also changing its pace up and down and without knowing what is affecting, right? So I have done some of my researches and I brought something crisp here so that exactly we can talk point on point that how this trend is going to be, what you have to do, and at the end I'm going to explain what is that recruiters need to do in this scenario, and I'm gonna give my views. All right, stay tuned and let's move forward. So I have searched the web, SI reports, eCapital, articles, PGC, and what I have understood is the US market is really going down, but it was expected to go up previous year by the SIA report. Okay, this is the SIA analyst SIA report from last year. What did they expect was in 2023 there will be quite a bit of progress in staffing revenues and so on and so forth, and that's how it has been expected at the end of 2023, that in 2024 also we are going to see some 3% increment. But what is that happened? Totally reverse. You know that, right? How we are looking for submissions, that did not happen. We expected the results to come, that did not happen. The interview requests come in, interview did not happen. Offers came in, and at the end the offers has been resigned, and moreover a lot of positions been went on hold. Why it is happening and how long this trend can continue? So we are going to get everything with a brief understanding. So here is what the SIA latest report says, that they have been predicting that in next year market is going to grow up, but in 2024 it is going to decline for 3%. Right? Now what is that happened in the beginning of 2023? It in the last quarter of 2023, still there was a positive hope that in 2024 it is going to be better. But when we have entered 2024, first quarter went, second quarter went, and we are almost in the third quarter and fourth quarter. You know that there will be a Thanksgiving Day holidays, and there will be again December comes in, end of the year holidays, and at the same time so many things are there. We thought market is gonna pick up, but this is what the reality is, and the latest report of SIA says that 2024 has declined 3%. Forget about it going up, but it declined. Now you don't have to panic. Why? Because it is not that much steep decline that we have to worry that it is going to be in any recession or something, but it is in such a way that it is adjusting to settle down in a pace. So it's all the volatility, whatever is happening that currently we are seeing, it is the adjustment that is happening after what is that happened in 2020 COVID. So what is that happened? Let's move forward and understand. Now here, if you see a trend, last 30 years trend, what is the report says? The temporary help services industry has grown at an impressive pace from 44.6 billion 30 years back, right? In 1995 it was just 44.6 billion. Now if you see, by the time 2022 it became 224.7 billion. You see the kind of a growth it took. Now what is that happened is, after 2022, meaning during COVID also it went better, it did not go down, but after COVID things changed drastically. It went so up that we were enjoying so good at 2022 and expected that 2023 is going to be a wonderful, but it took a steady decline. When? From June 2022. That's what the report says. Now, if we go a little bit deep and understand that the temporary workers meaning the number of temporary workers supplied. Temporary worker in the sense the contract positions, the contingent labor, that's what we say. So those numbers, whatever supplied by the staffing companies, has steadily declined since the mid quarter, right? It's the mid of 2022, and by the time 2024 May, this year, May, what is that we understood is the employment has dropped to 6.5%, meaning the unemployment ratio is now 6.5%. Last year it was 14.2%. In March 2002 it was the total in high peak. But here this is what the unemployment ratio that we have. We thought things are going to go up, but it's still going on the negative mode. So if we see the 2024 and 2025, what is that we need to understand is that after the 15% decline in US staffing revenue in 2023, you see that 2023 also like that. So after 2022 up, things were expected to be better, but it declined 15%. Now, as a new report by SIA predicts that US revenue will shrink by 3% in 2024, amounting to total 184.6 billion. So by the end of 2024, we expect it to get into 184. But what is that? It was expected 207.2, but actually it is ending at 184.6 billion. It is a pretty big market, but there is something making things go slow. However, after 2 years of constant dip in revenue, 2025 seems to be like the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's what again we are expecting 2025 to be a better one. Why? Because we have seen 2023, we learned from it, because 2023 was unexpected, right? So many things came in, so many things did its course corrections. Now 2024, whatever we learned in previous year, 2023, we used it in 2024 and somehow we managed our businesses. Now in 2025, when so many things will come up which are already known to us, so there is an opportunity that market trend will go up. How it will go up? So SIA again predicts that the US staffing industry revenue will grow 3% to 189.9 billion in 2025. So it is a positive sign. Now overall, if we look at in the first quarter of 2024 alone, the staffing industry lost 186,000 jobs. It means a steady 7.7% decline from fourth quarter to first quarter. You see that? It is a 7.7% decrease. So here if you see, considering the same thing, whatever it could be, whatever it has to happen, it happened. But what is the analyst anticipate is, when the interest rate, government interest cuts down, so that could encourage the growth in the later half of the year 2025. And that's what we have been expecting from this report. So here, what is that made this staffing industry to grow? So if you see, from 2010 to 2019, the US experienced a historic 10 years economic expansion, during which temporary staffing grew steadily, right? 2010 to 2019, it was a pretty clear growth it happened. So after the pandemic also, so what is that happened? After the pandemic also, 2022 caused some disruptions. But after that, that's what the unexpected thing happened. What is that? Let's read it out, right? Although the pandemic in 2022 caused disruptions and lockdowns, the 5 trillion in federal rescue spending unexpectedly accelerated the labor market, right? Things went down, all of a sudden the funding went in the market and things totally boomed up in 2022, driving the staffing industry to reach 224.7 billion. Now, if we look at some industries, right? So here, if we look at healthcare industry, this trend was most pronounced in healthcare staffing, meaning the growth trend, where growth surged due to a strong economy and in response to the critical demand for healthcare clinicians and all healthcare workers during the pandemic, right? There was a lot of need for healthcare workers, and that's what made the staffing, the temporary staffing, to grow very fast, primarily in healthcare staffing. They made a lot of money. Since 2022, demand for travel nurse has been gradually returning to the pre-pandemic level. When things are settling down, now everything is now getting normalized. Now, if we see what is that made the US staffing industry to go slow, manufacturing and transportation, or we say warehousing, are two major sectors with high demand for temporary workers, right? Manufacturing, transportation, warehouse. Both have experienced stagnation or decline over the past 2 years. So due to pandemic and so many other reasons, with no investment and less in the, fundings, whatever could be the reason, the manufacturing, transportation, warehouse industry, where a lot of demand of manpower, that has been declining, or it is steady. Although the industry, what is that? Industrial and office or clerical. You see, industrial, office, clerical, office assistant, office manager, admin assistant, those kind of position we see, right? Those segments also, what is that happen? Stagnating, meaning it also did not grow. So, but these things are contributing 29% of the staffing industry revenue. If we see, they represent 2/3 of all temporary worker at any given day. Industrial, clerical, office related thing, transportation, warehouse, manufacturing, they get into 29%. Now, if these things do not grow, so it has impacted overall. Not only that, let's find out. The economic uncertainty, the increased cost, and the rise of alternatives also made these things to happen. When I say economic uncertainty, what is that economic uncertainty? High interest rates decrease the net present value of projects. So when the government interest rates increased, so the investment went down. You see? So what does that happen? High interest rates decrease the net present value of projects, investment, and company valuations. The interest rate decreased. Now what does that happen? That is what made the businesses to cancel or delay projects and hiring. When interest rate is high, investment went down and they cancel the projects, or they stop the hirings, or it has been delaying. That's where we see positions cancelled, hold, and no answers, nothing. Economic uncertainty has prompted many staffing clients to cut expenses, pause, or cancel projects. IT staffing in particular, right? In IT, this has faced challenges due to its sensitivity to high interest rates. Maybe it is attracting high interest rate. This has led to layoff at large technology companies that overhired during the pandemic and to a general pullback in demand for IT staffing. You see, during pandemic they overhired and interest rate grew. Now what is that they have to do? They have to lay off. That's why we see the hundreds, thousands of people laid off. You are understanding the point, right? This is how market has changed. And what else? Increased costs. Now the labor shortage has increased the cost of temporary workers. Now when there are less people, obviously the expectation of the workers will grow up, and that's what increased the cost. Now previously companies could easily tap into a pool of candidates, often from the ranks of the unemployed. From unemployed people also, previously companies are used to hire. But what happened? Those people who were willing to take temporary position for low pay rate, because those are people who are unemployed, they are ready to do the work with less money. However, this supply has diminished due to the decline birth rates. See how deep it is. Decline birth rates, stagnant levels of legal immigrations, legal people could not get into the US. The retirement of baby boom generation, the people who are on 60s, they went to 65, 70, right? The age increased and they retired permanently. And rising demand for specialized skills. This is very much important. Now we can say AI, right? Java in AI, AI in Java, AI in .NET, AI in everywhere. So, or any specific specialized skills. That also made people being demanded, right? They become unique and they are expecting a lot of money. Consequently, the higher cost of temporary workers has led clients with fixed budget. They have a fixed budget, but they cannot increase the money. What is that happened? the higher cost of temporary workers has led clients with fixed budget projects to either reduce their use of temporary staff or explore alternatives such as hiring full-time employees or adopting automation solution. This is what they have done. When people are not decreasing their money, what do? They have to reduce their staff and they hired full-time, and with few people they have done the work, or they have done the alternative of automating it and getting softwares in it. What else? The rise of alternative. When we say the rise of alternative, to whom? To clients, to software companies, to the organizations. So options to traditional temporary staffing. Earlier, what is that used to happen? Whatever they have requirement, they used to depend upon staffing companies, right? They need a manpower. Now, what is that option was? Such as SOW, the statement of work, right? Consultants, freelancer, independent contractor, direct sourcing by employers are leading to decline the temporary employment. What is that happened is, earlier when the staffing was happening, and now what is that happened? Cost has been increased. Now if the candidate increases the cost, staffing company also increases their margin. If we add the margin, the billing rate will increase. That's what has been giving a pain to the staffing, the companies who are hiring for the staffing companies. Now what is that they depended on the SOW work. What is the SOW work? This is a kind of work where SOW is an agreement actually, that this is what we want you to do, this is what the deliverables, this is what the time, this is what the money is, and this is what we want the output from you. Now if whoever signs the SOW, what is that? They will complete the project. So that could be any consultant can take care, freelancer also they did it, independent contractor, and they directly source people from the market. Now if that happens, what happens to the recruiting companies in staffing industry? You know that, right? Now these contingent work model represent an evolution of traditional temporary staffing. Now this part-time hiring, contract hiring by directly or engaging them, that affected in staffing industry. They are being provided by both innovative startups or established staffing firms that have either added these services or shifted their core offering. So what is the change happened? Now small innovative startups came in and they say, we are going to take up your SOWs and we complete the project. They did it. Or those recruiting companies who are primarily dependent on the temporary staffing, they also said, okay, now I think the direct recruiting is not working, because client is not giving the requirement and they are focusing on SOWs, and recruiting companies are only specialized in giving manpower. What did they do? These people released all the recruiters and recruiting team, so they also hired some IT people in the company and they started taking the projects and they stopped the staffing work. They directly wanted to work with the client and give the project back and make the money. That's what they did. Now if we look at some other factors, right? One, travel nurse revenue played a big part in driving the overall US staffing revenue decline. Travel nurse, it's totally declined. Travel nurse revenue continues to normalize after its pandemic highs and is expected to decrease by 20% for this year. You see, travel nurse was one of the additions in revenues, but it has a decline. Another reasons can be the US staffing industry normalizing after the extraordinary upsticks in 2021-2022 brought on by government spending due to the pandemic. So a lot of government spending happened, right? A lot of spending happened, a lot of investment happened, a lot of people got job. Now things are settling down. Now interest rate was high. Now people who were overhired, they are being released. Higher pay rates have also reduced client demand, and sectors with high usage of temps such as manufacturing seeing difficulty in economy. You see that? Where there are a lot of temporary workers who are hired like manufacturing companies, now they are releasing their people, so there is less job and lot of people available. Now that's where the staffing the contract staffing is not happening much, and that is affected the overall revenue of the US staffing. Now you're understanding, right? Now if we see, industrial staffing revenue will drop by 5%. This is what expected. Industrial in the sense, if we talk about manufacturing, warehousing, logistic, construction, that's what industrial staffing. 5% dip. Office clerical staffing revenue will remain steady. This is what a forecast. And IT revenue will decline by 3%. I told you, right? Now, why it has been happening? If you see, there are so many people might be doing freelancing job. Client is okay for that. Earlier, everybody used to must come to the office. Now, freelancer are doing it, and remote worker people are doing it. Now, what if the clients are hiring people from from all over the globe? We don't know, right? From sitting in different country, they complete the job. Now, this is what affected IT people to get jobs, difficulty in US primarily, because there are a lot of options now available. And moreover, there are multiple different technologies which came in the last 4-5 years. You talk about machine learning, you talk about artificial intelligence, and it is automation, new softwares which came in. Now people need to adapt with it in order to get the jobs. Now if client wants, I need 5 years of AI experience with a Java developer, then how someone will get it? We need to wait for 5 years from now. So that's what currently trying to adjust before the market will grow up. So definitely there is a positive hope for 2025, because SIA again predicts that education temporary staffing is expected to grow by 7%. The teachers, teaching staff, engineering staff is expected to grow by 6%. And moreover, IT also definitely will grow, because a lot of people are coping up with the expectations. Now in this scenario, what is that recruiters has to do? In this trend, don't you think when the market is changing, where the industry is changing, when the people are changing, everybody is upgrading themselves to go with the market, what is that do you think the recruiters got to do? They also go to upgrade themselves with the new skills, new strategies, framework, so that they will present themselves in a better manner, that they are not someone only stuck and staying in the old school method. They also become upgraded with the new strategies. So this is what the conclusion is. Now I'm going to leave up to you, and whatever you have a thoughts, put that in the comment box. And we have a masterclass for BENCHSALES and US IT recruiters. I leave the link below in the description, so click it and see you live. And do let me know how did you find my analysis. Take care and bye bye.